So I continue to be accepted for who I am here in the Phoenix area. You see, I ran into a situation where being single disadvantaged me again. I needed to go to the library to print some things. I have a complicated tax return. I had filed an extension, and there's this one form I need to print in order to estimate a W-2 that I did not receive last year. I don't seem to be able to find that form with software, and I don't need to tell anybody how short the hours at the library are these days due to the great resignation, among other things. And so I needed to talk to my work about arranging some hours to get to the library when it's open, and I found that it flowed a whole lot easier compared to when I was living in Seattle. And so I got a nice warm fuzzy feeling. I almost relapsed on NoFap again yesterday because I just had such a warm fuzzy feeling dealing with everything at work, in my social life, among other things. Now, I went to the board game meetup on Saturday to tell everybody there how nice and accepted I felt here in the Phoenix area. Now, one of my opponents at the board game meetup suggested that next time my boss asked for something outlandish, like for me to go to work for 2 hours on a Saturday when I have a long commute like I did over in Seattle, he suggested just saying it's really not in the cards. That's what he said. I don't think that would have flowed very well where I was working in Seattle. As you may recall, one time I faked potentially having COVID-19, right? I intentionally distorted my voice, and I said, you know what, I haven't gotten a hold of the COVID-19 test recently, and given how I feel, I don't think it's a good idea for me to come today. My friend at the game tournament said that was a mistake, by the way. He said, just say it's not really in the cards. Your boss is going to have to understand that there's a reason why you can't come 2 hours, right? And he also suggested, if it's really important that I go those 2 hours, to ask for a higher rate of pay for those 2 hours. I don't think that's going to go too well in Seattle either. But those were the two suggestions. See, that's why I really love Phoenix. If it's going to flow well in Phoenix, those two things, I will love it. But he suggested saying it's not in the cards. I don't think that's going to go too well, because when I faked COVID-19 that time, my boss texted me for 2 hours in a row asking me if I got a hold of the test. Did you get a hold of the test? Did you get a hold of the test? You know, we got students who really need it, but then my friend said if they really need it, you should have asked for double the pay. I don't think that's going to go too well. It's a very short-sighted suggestion, in my opinion, from my experience with that boss. He might have paid me the double, but my days there might have been numbered. That's how I feel. But I guess if I had another offer on the table, or if I were getting ready to move to Phoenix anyway at that time, maybe I would have done that and squeezed what little bit I could get out of that, I suppose. The other problem I ran into is that oftentimes I would be at the office and my boss would ask me to leave early, and it's in front of the students. I'm not going to debate with him in front of the students. I'll just say, oh, thank you for letting me out early, and I'll think about some other time to debate with him, but oftentimes that's never, because when I want to talk to him about stuff like this, he ghosts me, whether it be on the phone, on email. But I don't think I'll get that kind of treatment here in Phoenix, just from my experience wanting to print my tax returns and needing to go apartment shopping the other day. Just a nice warm fuzzy feeling. I hope it's not just my first welcome at the job, right? I've run into that before, where I get really good treatment at the beginning, and then once I feel like I fit in, then all the other stuff comes. But from the feeling I got from my boss here, it feels like it's second nature for her to behave this way. And I have a nice warm fuzzy feeling that I'm accepted for who I am. Thanks for watching.